California Highway Patrol is actively investigating the latest East Bay Freeway shooting on eastbound I-80 west of Highway 4 in Hercules that occurred last night at 9:16 p.m. The victim in this recent shooting sustained non-life-threatening injuries when a bullet struck him in the leg. The suspect vehicle was described by a witness as a black Chevy El Camino with tinted windows. Our CHP investigators are currently trying to locate a possible suspect regarding this matter. We will provide additional updates on this case once we obtain additional information. These recent shootings bring the total number of San Francisco's East Bay area freeway shootings to 28, and that's since November 2015. Evidence suggests these shootings appear to be gang-related with different gangs involved. Gang shootings are extremely difficult to investigate as victims and witnesses are often uncooperative with law enforcement investigators. In all, there have been 12 people injured, and tragically 4 people have lost their lives in these shootings. Highway 4 has had 5 shootings. I-80 has had a total of 15 shootings. There was 1 shooting on Highway 242. I-580 has had a total of 4 shootings, and I-880 has had a total of 3 shootings. The CHP investigations are currently handled by the CHP Special Investigations Unit in the Bay Area. The CHP Special Investigations Unit is working closely with the Contra Costa County FBI Safe Streets Task Force, the Richmond Police Department, and other allied agencies. This task force is made up of federal, state, county, and local allied agencies, and is co-managed by the District Attorney of Contra Costa County and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. In addition to following investigative leads, the California Highway Patrol and Richmond Police Department and the task force began conducting regularly strategic enforcement operations in March, which target known gang members and their criminal operations. These enforcement operations are specifically tailored to address the gangs involved in these shootings. Our division chief has coordinated monthly meetings with heads of allied agencies within the East Bay region to discuss ways to better use technology and resources in an effort to curb these recent shootings. We are also using additional CHP officers from adjacent areas throughout the Bay Area to enhance our enforcement efforts. Every act of violence committed by these criminals puts the people of California at risk. And in the case of freeway shootings, particularly endangers innocent motorists. By CHP, Richmond Police Department, and the task force working together towards one common goal, we have had a strong impact on gang shootings and gang violence both on the freeways and on the streets of Richmond. The enforcement operations will include in-view patrols and parole and probation searches. Narcotics and explosive detection canines will be used to help locate drugs and guns, and we will also use CHP aircraft to assist us in our efforts. These enforcement operations are in addition to increased patrol with the CHP that we put in place on the I-80 corridor. Additionally, to help keep motorists safe, the CHP will be conducting our annual Memorial Day maximum enforcement period throughout the state. The MEP begins at 6:01 p.m. on Friday, May 27th, and it concludes on Monday, May 30th at 11:59 p.m. Although the focus of the MEP is seatbelt usage, the CHP will be watching just as diligently for distracted drivers, those driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, as well as highway violence. We offer assurance to the public that we take their concerns very seriously and understand that although we know these shootings are not random, the fact can be of little consolation to the motoring public. We have made the investigation of these crimes our top priority and are working diligently to apprehend these suspects. We encourage anyone with any information on any of these shootings, no matter how small or insignificant that information may seem, to please contact the CHP at 1-800-TEL-CHP. Thank you.
John, can you say anything about last night's shooting? I was out there. There was one woman with the window shot out, and then there was the guy's car who got shot. Was he the intended target, or was he like, mistaken identity?
It appears that the vast majority of these shootings are targeted individuals. Regarding that specific case, it's still too early on in the investigation to say definitively that that's the case at this time.
Was that woman's window shattered because of a stray bullet?
That's something that's still going to come out in the investigation. It's still such a fresh investigation that I don't know that we can definitively say why the window was shattered. We can make assumptions, but I want to base it off of facts.
So you're not really sure if the guy who was injured was targeted?
At this time, like I said, it appears that the vast majority of these shootings are targeted individuals, but because it's so early on in that particular investigation, I cannot say definitively that that's the case in that specific case.
You have some communities want to get cameras out there on the freeways and roadways. Will that help you guys in your investigations? Do you think that's a helpful tool?
It can't hurt. If we have cameras that are strategically placed, that's one of the things that has come out in the various meetings that our division chief has held. I know that the city of Pittsburgh, their city council has recently passed and approved funding for cameras that are going to be focused on the freeways. I believe that they're looking at having about 10 cameras allocated specifically for that. So I don't think at this point anything can hurt. I know we're also in talks with Caltrans, and Caltrans is looking at cameras and helping cities with cameras as well, but that's something that they would have to talk more about.
You have 5 mayors are meeting tomorrow. Pinole, Hercules, El Cerrito, and 2 others that want to talk to the governor about using those existing cameras that Caltrans has to start recording and add additionals to on and off ramps, because they know you guys can't be everywhere all the time.
Right, and again, that's something for them to discuss. We always will defer to our elected officials and their leadership, and we'll carry out the task as CHP is needed.
Can I get the figures again? You said 28 shootings, 12 people injured, and 4 killed. Is that correct?
That's correct. 4 people lost their life, 12 injured, and a total of 28 shootings within the East Bay Area.
How many vehicles had shooting damage in last night's shooting?
That I'd have to look into. I don't know off the top of my head if I don't know that we have a suspect vehicle, so it's something I'll look into, and we'd have to know if we had if the suspect vehicle was damaged, how many vehicles that are considered that were driven by victims, how many of those vehicles were damaged. It's something I'll look into.
How many do you know at this point? Just the one?
Just the one that I know of as of right now, but I'll look into it so I can give you better information.
Do you guys feel helpless at all? Because you can't be everywhere at all times, and this seems to kind of slip in at the time when the CHP is not looking, or any other law enforcement.
We're always looking. I would say this, it's a matter of time before these individuals are caught. I don't know that our department feels helpless. Can we be everywhere at once? Absolutely not. But at the same time, we remain focused. We're going to be extremely vigilant, and we definitely are out there specifically looking to curb highway violence.
Do you feel like you're getting close? Do you feel like you're making progress?
That's one of the things as far as the investigators, I can't comment on how close we are. There's several ongoing and active investigations, so I'm not going to comment on that at this time. However, know that we are actively investigating every single one of these until we exhaust every single lead.
Do you think that the gang members are actively trying to take their beat to the freeways because they know that cameras aren't there to catch them, that the likelihood of them being caught is a little less than if they were in the cities?
I don't know that I want to try and get in their mindset. We are going to use our resources and our technology to minimize or dispel maybe that thought process. But we will be out in force. We will be using every bit of resource and technology that we can and that we're able to help curb this highway violence.
Is the task force working? I went on a ride along with a group of the task force a couple of weeks ago or a month or two ago. Does that seem to be working for you guys, do you think?
I think the partnership's great. I think that anytime you can share information, I think that it's definitely a positive. So in that respect, absolutely. It's been a great partnership, and all the agencies work extremely well together.
If you know these numbers off the top of your head, the amount of drivers, I've seen it before, you guys have published this before, how many drivers that you have on the freeways and the remote chance that something like this could happen to you. Could you put this in perspective for us?
Due to the fact that these are the vast majority of these shootings appear to be targeted, I think that in and of itself should definitely give the public a little bit better sense of safety. However, as a family man, I also understand that as a community we look at the offhand chance that something could happen. So again, it's a little consolation to tell people that these are probably most likely gang-related targeted attacks, because we're concerned with the community as a whole. And that's one of the reasons why we plead with the community and anyone that knows anything about these shootings to please come forward and contact us. We're all in this together, and hopefully we can together curb this highway violence.
Awesome.